Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is GENIX-JS, a YouTube channel dedicated to simplifying front-end development for you. In the last video, we covered control structures in this JavaScript series, and in today's video, we'll be looking at operators in JavaScript. Before you write a single function, before you understand loops, before you build anything useful, you're already using operators in JavaScript. But most tutorials treat operators like a boring math lesson. Today, I'll break it down differently, and by the end of this video, you will not only understand operators, but you will know when and where to use them like a senior developer. So let's get started. So we're going to be using VS Code in this video as we've been using in past videos. So if you don't have it downloaded, there's a link in the description below leading you to download VS Code. So once you have that installed, I need you to click on the start button and then type VS Code. So once this opens up, just click on new window or click on the open or click on enter on your keyboard. So once that's out of the way, you're going to have this window pop up to you exactly this way. You might have a welcome screen, you can cancel that. So we're going to be using the repository that we've been using, that's the folder that we've been using for this JavaScript series, to explain the concept of operators in JavaScript. So now once you have that open, just go to where you have your folder, or you can create a new folder, right? We're not going to be creating a new folder, we already have the folder that we've been using. So I'll just go directly to where that folder is, JavaScript Fundamentals, this folder. The link to the GitHub repository is in the description. So now that we have that opened, create a new folder. To do that, just click on this button and then type 06 operators as I've done, and then you just create it. So with that out of the way, let's get started. What are operators? Now, thinking of operators from first principles, operators they are tools that let you perform actions on data, right? And in general, JavaScript is a toolbox, and operators is just one of those tools, right? So now let's create our index.html file to demonstrate why operators are tools in JavaScript. So now once you have this, all you need to do now is just type your boilerplate code. There's a shortcut to do this, but I'll type it from scratch, right, for the sake of those that are just starting with this channel, right? So you have your HTML, you have your head. I covered this in my first video, link in the description below. You have your body, and then inside your head you have your title, right? And inside you just put operators. So that's basically, inside this body you can put whatever you want, but I'll put a script tag that leads us to our JavaScript file. So this is the file that we're going to have every single thing that we need regarding operators, script.js file. So now once you have that installed, I need you to download this extension called Live Server. It's an extension that allows you to run your code basically on your local server. This is it by Retreat Day. So with that out of the way, let's get back. So now to split your screen so that we can have a JavaScript and HTML on both sides, bring this here. So this is the split button here in VS Code, very easy to use. So now that we have that set up, we have operators in JavaScript. So what are operators? As we said, operators are tools that let you perform data actions in data. So now the first thing is, let us give an example. So for example, we have let price be equal to 100, right? And then we have let discount be equal to 20. So basically this is going to be a mathematical operation, right? So what we can do here is we can say, let's say we want to calculate the final price, right? So final price is basically going to be the price minus the discount, right? So we're going to say price minus discount. So this basically is an operation in JavaScript, and this operation has variables and an operator, right? So two different types of operators are used in this particular expression. We have the subtraction operator, which is an arithmetic operator in JavaScript, and we have the assignment operator, right, which is used to assign values to variables. This is in the first video. So now what we're going to do now is we're going to console.log the final price. So now that we already have Live Server installed, we can just right click and open with live server. So once you have that opened, you would see a blank page because we've not kept anything in our code in the HTML. So just right click again on your key or your mouse and then click on inspect and then come to console. Right, you can see 80. So I'm going to put this on the right and this on the left, right? So this is basically everything. Zooming in, we just need our console actually. So this is basically everything. We have our HTML on the left, our JavaScript on the right, and our output here on the right. So now this is basically an operator, the subtraction operator. So let's just put a comment here, the subtraction arithmetic operator, which is a type of operator because it allowed us to perform an operation, right? An arithmetic operation. So now one thing I need you to understand is operators aren't just about numbers, they also control logic. Basically they control logic, they are used to compare values, they are used to assign values, and even how memory is managed in your program. So now the next thing we're going to look at now is types of operators, right? So we're going to be looking at diverse types of operators in JavaScript. So now let's break down the different types of operators, and now we're going to be looking at them under the hood as well. The first operator that we're going to be looking at is the arithmetic operator. So I'm going to put one here, arithmetic operator. Arithmetic operators. So the arithmetic operators, they allow you to perform basic math operations, right? Such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and many more. So we can put etc. That's basically what the arithmetic operators allow you to perform, different types of operations in JavaScript. So now let's look at an example. We're going to give an example using just two variables. So I'm going to say let num1 or let first number, right, be equal to 10, and then let second number be equal to 5. So we're going to be performing multiple arithmetic operations on these two variables. The first one is going to be addition, right? So let's console.log. First number plus second number. So this gives us our first addition operator. You can put a comment here, addition operator. Let's look at another example. That's subtraction operator. You can say console.log first number minus second number. So this is another example, subtraction operator. Let's look at multiplication operator. So we can say console.log first number times second number, and then finally, division operator. Then this one we have first number divided by second number, that's / second number. So that's all that we have to do with operators, arithmetic operators basically. And we also have two other types of arithmetic operators which might be used in more complex mathematical situations. So we have the modulus operator, which allows us, it returns the remainder of any division operation. So you can say modulus operator. So this only returns the division, the remainder of a particular division. So if we do first number modulus, this is the sign, the percentage sign. First number modulus second number is going to give us 0 because there's no remainder when you divide 10 by 5 by 10. So now we also have another one called exponentiation operator. So now exponentiation operator allows us to, is like raised to power of something. So I can say console.log 10. So using the carry symbol, raised to power 2, or in other words, first number raised to power 2, and then you get first number is not the caret, it is the asterisk. First number asterisk asterisk 2, and then you get 100. That's 10 raised to power 2, you get 100. So you might be asking yourself, why am I learning this? Well, basically you're learning this because arithmetic operators can be used to calculating total price in an e-commerce app, which is what we're going to be building as our capstone project at the end of this series. So that's just one use case of the arithmetic operators, to calculate total prices of items, right? So now let's look at the next operator, which is known as the comparison operator. While this one is very good, we've been using it in functions, we've been using it in we've been using it in functions, we even used it in control structures, but now we're going to talk about it in depth. So the comparison operator is basically used when we're making decisions, right? It's mostly used in if blocks, it's mostly used when we're comparing two values together, it's mostly used in logic as well, right? And let's create an example, right, to demonstrate this explanation. So now we have an example giving a student an age of 18, right? So what we want to do now is we want to compare and want to find out if this student is eligible or not. So we can console.log, that's eligible to vote, a common example. We can see if the student age, right, is greater than or equal to 18, then they are eligible to vote. So basically this is going to return true because 18 is greater than or equal to. So let me just give you the examples of the comparison operator. We have the greater than, we have the less than, we have the less than or equal to, and we have the equal to, which is double, and we also have the strict equal to, which we'll be looking at in depth, right? We have greater than or equal to, we have less than or equal to, right? So basically this is everything for the comparison operators, right? So now this return true to us because the student is greater than or equal to, which is like basically making use of logic operator in between, which we'll talk about also. So let's look at another example. We have console.log. So now we want to use the equal to, the normal equal to. I'll differentiate what this means. So we say age equal to, so let's say 18. So now the age is 18, right? Now this gives us true. Why does this give us true? It gives us true because it is the same value. So just a clear one, this means comparing the values. To break it down, we have two types of equal to comparison operators, and this means comparing the data type. Remember data structure and data type in the second video. Comparing the data type. And I know for those of you who are adept JavaScript programmers, you might be asking, but isn't the value determining the data type? Well, in JavaScript is actually loosely typed, which means at runtime the value determines the data type, but not when you initialize that particular variable. When you initialize variable, yes, the variable is holding a value and that value determines the data type, but then deeply rooted, that data type has a more rooted data. For example, if you set a variable to have a value of null, now the value here is null, but the data type is object, right? That's what I mean, right? The data type might be deeply rooted, so this compares the data type, the deeply rooted data type, and this just compares the value, which is what we're doing here. So 18 is equal to 18 in value, but 18 is not equal to 18 in data type because this 18 is integer and this one is string, right? So if I do console.log age equal to 3 times the string 18 to give us false because they are not of the same data type, though they have the same value, and you can see that we have false, line 47, line 47. So that's basically that about that. So a use case on this particular comparison operator is that you can actually use it to check if a user is eligible to buy a product based on their age for our e-commerce project as well. So everything is linking to that particular capstone project. So let's look at the third type of operators, So we have logical operator. So now this is the most interesting type of operator in my concern, because it allows you to really make use of logic and perform different types of logic, right? What is logic? In the real sense, logic is more about determining the truth or the false value of something based on already preassumed facts or based on some existing knowledge. So for example, you might say, okay, let's use football. Messi is better than Ronaldo because Messi has scored more goals than Ronaldo. So you're being logical about it, you're being factual. Or Ronaldo is stronger than Messi because Ronaldo goes to the gym more. You're being factual. So logical operator is basically based on facts, the truthness or the falseness of a particular statement based on existing theories of knowledge about that thing. So we have and, we have or, we have not. So the best way we can explain this is logical operators is broken down into three. They are more complex one, but we have the and, we have the or, and we have the not. So let's look at the first operator, right? The first logical operator, we have the and. So basically the and is basically an operator that combines two values as inputs, let's put that, and returns a true value as output if both inputs are true. Only if both inputs are true. What do we mean by that? So what we mean by this is and will only give true from two inputs only if both are true, right? If input A is true and input B is also true, the output will be true, else every other thing will be false. That means if input A is true and input B is false, it's a false. If input A is false, input B is true, it will be false. And if both are false, it will also give false. So let's look at a quick example. So I'm going to say is logged in, right? For example, let's say an e-portal or student portal system, right? So basically we say is logged in is true, and then has paid. So if the student has paid, let's say has paid fees. So now let's perform an AND operator on these two. So remember, the AND operator would only return true if both inputs are true, and in this case we have both inputs not to be true, right? So now let's console.log this. So we can say is logged in, and so it always returns a boolean value. Logical operators are also known as boolean operators. So let's say is logged in, this is the sign for AND operation. We have this and this. So it's logged in and has paid fees. This is going to give us false. Why? Line 60 is going to give us false because not both of them are true, right? But on the other hand, we have an operator that returns true if either of both inputs are true, and that's known as the OR operator. So let me just put this: an operator that combines two values as inputs and returns true if either of the inputs are true, or if either of the inputs are true or is true, anyone. So now we already have these two variables. Let's demonstrate the OR operator, right? I can say is logged in OR. So the OR makes use of this line. It is often located at the middle or towards the right of your keyboard, right? Just double of it basically. So is logged in or has paid fees. Is logged in as paid fees would give you true, right? Because one of them is true. If I change this to false, it will give me false. If I change this to both to true, it will give me false, but the AND will give me true because both are true. So that's basically, it shouldn't confuse you. You can see, or okay, to give me true, right? Because both are one of it is true and both are true. So or is like if one of them, and is like if both of them. So that's it. So now we're now looking at the not. Not is just the negative of a value, right? So if you console.log not is logged in, will surely give you false because it is true. So the sign for this is an exclamation. is logged in will give you this. It will give you false because it's true. And if you console.log north as paid, will also give you false because it's true, right? So everything is being shown here, as you can see. It's being shown here. So that's basically that about that. So a use case, you see, I'm giving different use cases for all these operators. A use case to use the to use the logical operator is basically when you're checking if the user has paid a course or has paid for a product. If the user is logged in and the user has paid, then checkout basically. So now let's look at the last operator that I'll be looking at in this video before we round up. Is known as the assignment operator, which is the simplest of all operators, right? Assignment operator. So basically the assignment operator, what this lets you do, this lets you assign values efficiently. I need you to pay attention here because this is the last one we're looking at, right? The assignment operator lets you assign values efficiently. So an example would be, for example, I set a variable and I say let's status, right? Or let status be equal to happy. This is an assignment operation because we're assigning this value to this variable, right? That is very simple. So let's give another example where we talk about different assignment operators like increment and decrement. So increment is to increase a value, is mostly used on numerical values. Let's give it a value of 10. That's score equal to 10. So increment assignment operator, this is mostly used in loops, right? Increment assignment operator. So this adds to the value without you having to necessarily create a new variable to do that. So I can say score plus equal to, let's say 1, right? If I console.log score after this increment operation, we'll get 11. You can see it gives us 11. But if I console.log it before the increment operation, we'll get 10. You can see that's basically what we're getting. So now let's look at the next one, decrement assignment operator, or in other words, you can just call it arithmetic assignment operator because you're using arithmetic operators to do it. So score minus let's say minus 3, minus equal to 3 rather, right? And I console.log this after the decrement, we're going to get 7. Sorry, we're going to get, okay, since it's already 11, that's 11 minus 3, we're going to get 8 after the increment. So that's all. So a use case is, for example, when you're managing game scores in a leaderboard system, a user makes a move and then you add the score. So that's a use case basically. Let me put all the use cases I defined, right? Let me put all the use cases. So for the first one, I said for the arithmetic, a use case is when a use case for this, I said calculating the total price in an e-commerce app. But that's a use case for arithmetic operation. For comparison operation operators, use case that we defined here is checking. Okay, if I remember, it's checking if a user is eligible to buy a product based on their age. That's e-commerce related. Is eligible to buy a product based on age, right? That's basically comparison operator. And then next one is logical operator. So what this one allows us to do is, the use case for this is checking if the user has paid, has access and has paid to a course. Checking if a user, because that's what we basically did here, has paid or is logged in. A user has access to a paid course, right? Or has access, yes, has access to a paid course. That's if he has paid for that course, right? And he has access to it. So, and then this last one, assignment operator, the use case could be, as we defined, managing a game scores in a leaderboard system. Managing game scores in a leaderboard system. So that's basically about that. So these are the fundamentals of operators in JavaScript, right? If there's any other thing that extends beyond this, it's just basically ECMAScript 6, that's ES6, which will be looking at more advanced concepts in JavaScript. So quickly, I want to run through and let us wrap up with a beautiful example that shows a real-world example, right? Let's actually model what we've been talking about, e-commerce. Let's model a real-world example. Let's build a simple cart system, right? Using all we've learned, right? Simple cart system. So now, imagine you're building an e-commerce checkout system, right? So the first thing you need to do is you need to get the total number of cart items the user has bought. Let's say for example, is the user a premium user or the user is just a basic user, right? Because we want to give the user a discount. So let's put that down. We need to get the total amount of items the user got, right? We'll be using assignment operators, we'll be using comparison operators, we'll be using as arithmetic operators. So just the basics basically. So total amount of items the user got, the user type, that's if the user is a premium user or basic user, and then discount based on user type, right? So this is basically what we're going to be doing. So let's break this down. A simple cart system that basically returns the final price. So let's put this, let me put a real world example that returns the final price after a discount. Final price of cart items selected by the user after a discount, and this discount is given because of the user is a premium user after a discount. So now this is very clear. Now we've defined what we're trying to do, which is the first step in programming. So now the first thing you need to do now is let's define how many cart items did the user get. The user got 70 cart items, for example. What's the user type? Is the user a premium user? Yes, the user is a premium user. So just a simple example. So I'm going to put a small case premium here. So now the next thing to do is for us to apply a discount based on that user type, and then the premium user. So premium users basically have the privilege of a discount based on what they buy, right? So now what is the discount going to be? So the discount is going to be more like a 5% discount. But let's determine what the discount is going to be. The discount is going to be that if the user is a premium user, remove the cart items price, right? Let's say $70, right? Not cart items. $70 for 70 items. Instead of the user to pay $70, remove $20 from the discount from the original cart item. So we're going to say the discount should be equal to, let's give it an if statement. First we'll initialize a variable and call this discount, right? We're not assigning any value to this. Let me see. Okay, we already have something here. You can just comment it out, and I will say if user type, remember if user type is, remember we're dealing with values now, right? We can also use the normal double, since we're dealing with value and not data type, is equal to premium, right? Then the discount should be equal to 20. We're removing 20 items, else the discount should just be equal to 5. Normally the user should just 5 should just be removed. Why? Because the user is a premium. Okay, let's see. Alright, let's say var. Alright, great. So var, because it's used in a block scoped variable. We discussed this in variable declaration. So now what we're going to use now is we want to calculate the cart total, and this is going to make use of the assignment. Remember, this is comparison, this is assignment, we're not making use of logical here, right? But then what we want to get now is we want to get the cart total, the cart item price now. So I'm going to say cart item price should remove the discount, and that's how much the user is going to pay, right? So now we can now console.log to the user final price for items is, and then we'll give the user the cart item price, right? So that's basically it. You can see final price for items is 50. So that's a real-world cart system we built just using the comparison operator, the assignment operator, right? So that's all. But let's go through the real-world example again. Simple cart system that returns final price of cart items selected by user after a discount, right? So now we get the final price item price, the final price, the cart item price of the user to be $70. The user type is a premium user. For example, let's say that the user was a basic user, it will give us 65, right? And that's what we get here, because we're only removing 5, and the user here is actually a premium user. So that's part of how you can use operators in JavaScript, right? So now that you understand and you know how operators work, it's good, but then understanding them isn't enough. Applying them in the real world scenario is what makes you a great developer. So I want you to practice on all of this that you've learned, experiment with it. You can search online simple solutions that can build. You can even start going ahead, right, before we start building the e-commerce solution. In the next video, we'll be moving to expressions and statements. Here we'll dive into how JavaScript actually runs your code, right? If you found this useful, hit like and subscribe, and see you in the next one.